Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, it's an incredible match between Reynor and InnovatioN from their quarterfinal series from Home Story Cup 2019, held back in November. I can't recall a series between Reynor and InnovatioN in 2019 other than this one. And I can't remember one from 2018 either, but when I tried to look up their history, I kind of went to Iligulac, but it was slow responding and timed out. So if you know if these two players have played before in a series, Reynor is very young. He's 17 years old. So his history is not very long. Then let me know in the comments, and I will appreciate it. Okay, bottom right-hand corner of Triton, we've got the blue Terran player. It is InnovatioN, playing under his barcode name. He's allowed to do that in these tournaments. I'm not sure why. Nobody else really does. And in the top left, it is the red Zerg player, Reynor. Again, he's 17. He's going pool first, baby. He's going pool first, baby. And there's no SCV scout here either from InnovatioN. He does have the timing to send this SCV out and do some scouting. See these lings coming across the map. See the timing on the hatch. See that it's late. Make his Reaper stay home and defend against this. But he needs to send the SCV across, or we're going to be in a world of hurt right now for InnovatioN in the early stages of this game. So he's going to make a Reaper. So this Reaper's name is going to be Creeper, trying to curb Emperor Mengsk's destructive tendencies. His close advisors recommended that he try the popular game Minecraft to pass the time. He started off well, even constructing a replica of Augustgrad before the annoying green enemies known as Creepers arrived and began self-destructing, destroying his beloved city once again. Incredibly, Mengsk was able to keep his temper in check, instead ordering Dominion hackers to extract the data of the Creepers from the game in order to upload them into an artificial Reaper body in the hope of utilizing their destructive prowess for the good of humanity. Can you imagine if Reapers had a self-destruct option? Like they're in a mineral line and they're gonna die anyway, and so they just murder themselves and explode and actually do damage with the explosion, right? Look at the Reaper coming up this way. Does he see? No, he doesn't see the lings. There's nothing to defend this command center. He's in a world of hurt. I said this already. Oh, this is so bad. Reynor is one of the Zerg players that does love going pool first every once in a while just to throw you off. And what's he gonna do with this? I mean, I imagine you kill the SCV. You force the Marine back inside the house. Oh, you chase the Marine back inside the house is what you do. Delays the natural base. Poor Creeper has to come all the way back home to deal with this. The delay on the command center is the really big thing here. It's the really big part of this. Oh my gosh, he's going to get the reactor too. He forces a cancel on the reactor. He's still got Zerglings available. This Marine is desperately trying to hang on as long as he can against this. He's doing all right. The Reaper gets all the way back here. Another couple SCVs go down. That's 2 SCVs killed. A huge delay on the command center. And the Reaper had to come all the way home. And Reynor's third base is already coming up anyway. Ah, Reynor, how are you so good at this? It really came down to InnovatioN just refusing to SCV scout. If he SCV scouted around, saw the timing on that, he would have kept the Reaper at home. He wouldn't have lost any SCVs. His command center would have been on time, and he would have been in a much better position. Reynor wouldn't have been behind because he went pool first and got nothing done with it. But he didn't SCV scout. As a result, he's in a terrible position. I mean, it's not insurmountable at this stage, but being down at all to Reynor is a terrifying proposition in 2019, especially considering the current state of Zerg versus Terran. In general, just in all matchups across the board at the pro level, it's just it's not a great time to be a Terran player these days. However, we do have a fusion core on the way from InnovatioN, which indicates a battlecruiser opening here. Reynor going to be able to defend against this. He's been able to in the past. This really just comes down to queen count. You got about 5 queens and a spore to kind of anchor you, right, to pull back to the spore if you're really in trouble. You're going to be just fine. I would love to see spores coming up, though. He has no idea. He has no idea what this is. I mean, the factory is like, duh, of course there's a factory. He doesn't know there's a starport. He definitely doesn't know there's a fusion core. Got a bit of a Hellion Reaper harassment trying to do stuff, but Reynor says, no, I've got queens, I've got speedlings, that's not happening. Speedlings out because, obviously, with the pool done as fast as it was, speed's going to be just fine. So third base here from Reynor really doesn't need a fourth at this point. Creeper the Reaper is here, trying to do stuff, like a secondary follow-up. Overlord speed is done, which means we should be able to see into the Terran base. Oh, for sure. One Marine's not going to stop this from happening. I love the 4.5-minute scout with speed. As soon as speed is done, zoom on in there, see the battlecruiser in production, see the fusion core, call it a day, get out of there, keep the Overlord alive. And yeah, I mean, at this point, you just make additional queens. Again, spores would not be amiss. There you go. Spore coming up in the main base. No spore at the third and no spore at the natural, which I'm a little surprised about. I mean, the battlecruiser is very likely to go any of these places. There you go. Third base spore and natural base spore. Okay, so we've got 3 spores up, which I really recommend doing if your opponent is going for battlecruiser. Again, not that the battlecruiser is going to sit there and get hit by the spore all that much, but if you can pull back to the spore, and if the battlecruiser's there killing your drones, at least the spore is doing some damage to it. It's just smart. It is just really smart here. Additional queens in production. We're already at 7. We're going to have... Actually, that's 8. We have 7 out right now. Hellions trying to cause some problems, trying to keep these queens away from their base. So when the battlecruiser jumps across like this, the queens are not ready to go quite yet. So the drones pull out. The queens are away. There's 1 queen. 2 queens joining the party. This overlord needs to come back towards the queens, and it might be able to live, but it's too late. Responded too late. It's done. No transfuses for the overlord. Bit of a supply block here. This overlord can actually poop creep. Is the lair done? Ah, the lair is done. He poops creep on Innovation's third. God, it's brutal. Reynor is just... He's being so annoying. He's being so annoying this game. The battlecruiser doesn't even accomplish anything. It killed an overlord and like maybe a drone or a zergling. What did we kill here? It looks like a zergling because no drones have been killed so far. Reynor taking a 4th base. There it is. See, the timing makes sense. Battlecruiser has to come back home to kill this overlord so the creep can reside so the command center can land where it needs to land. Man, I still think back to that patch where they made creep recede more quickly and expand more quickly, and I think it was fair. I think it's good for everybody involved. Look how quick that receded. Look how quickly it can push out. And I think Zergs are pretty happy about it, and I think Terran and Protoss are not too sad about it either. I mean, they're really happy. In Heart of the Swarm and early Legacy of the Void, that creep would still be there. Like, it would take a while to recede. So Innovation's happy his third base is down now. Zerglings out. Do they have upgrades? No. They're working on, no upgrades, though. Got missiles on the way. Got Galil Reconstitution on the way and Aspire. So the Zerglings are not part of the plan at the moment. Battlecruiser, again, trying to do stuff over here at the 4th, but the Queens are ready for it. I mean, there's 2 BCs, which seems problematic, especially if they can hop up into the main and make these Queens run around. Kind of interested why they're not doing that. If the Queens are all down here, push on up into the main base and try to get some stuff done. You can hop over here. There's dead airspace. Lings against Blue Flame Hellions is really, really bad. Like, exceptionally bad. Reynor's attention may have been elsewhere there because he just threw a bunch of Lings away for approximately no result. Creep spread, a little bit delayed here too. He's pushed so far this way. Hey, look! The battlecruisers came into the main base! And they killed the spore, and they forced all the drones to get out, and they killed a queen, and they're killing this extractor. This is what I'm talking about. This is what he should have done like a minute ago. But hey, he made it. Innovation. He made it. I know. It's easier to see what's going on when you have full vision and there is no fog of war. Like, I'm not going to begrudge him not doing that when I feel like he should have done it, and I could just entirely be wrong as well, right? Like, Innovation maybe saw something that I didn't. The timing was not quite correct, but I don't know. I feel like he had an opportunity to get in there a little bit sooner. But as it stands, an extractor and a queen and, you know, forcing drones to get off of there was pretty good. It was a pretty good play. 65 workers for Reynor, about 8.5 minutes, 159 supplies, making corruptors. I mean, it has a handful of corruptors, right? 9 of them. It's not mass corrupt or anything, but it's the right answer to what Innovation is trying to do here. Right? It's going to be Roach Corruptor, basically, which against Hellion Battlecruiser is the answer. Roaches are so good against Hellbats and Hellions, even with Blue Flame. Ravager's pretty good against them, too. And then the Corruptors in case the Battlecruisers decide they need to engage with this. So tanks are out, which do change the equation here a bit from Innovation. There are 3 Battlecruisers. Attacking in here is a bad idea. I'm not sure we're going to get much. Wow, he's really pushing this. 1 tank died. But, like, yeah, that's a retreat. I mean, got 5 SCVs. I can live with that, too. But, 18 roaches down, 5 corruptors. No battlecruisers have died yet in this game, which seems like a problem if you're trying to beat Innovation who's going battlecruisers. So more corruptors on the way, going for, oh, I like that, centrifugal hooks for banelings. Banelings rocking on in to harass mineral lines or to crash into Hellbats or Hellions is going to be pretty good. And I do love me some banelings. The tank count, though, is fairly high, and at this stage, the tanks are a problem, as there are 9 of them. Your roaches are going to lose their effectiveness the more tanks exist, so that's why you're going to want some stuff Well, like Blinding Cloud. That's why an Infestation Pit is on the way. Blinding Cloud and an Abductor are going to be really good against those tanks. And if they're clumped up like this, Blinding Cloud will do the job. Without question at all. There you go. Baneling's up. Centrifugal Hook's not done. The battle cruisers, unluckily for Reynor, just wander over this way now. He might have caught a glimpse of something and was like, no, you don't get to set up Banelings on my front door. Thank you for offering, though. I appreciate it. It was very kind of you. But go away now. Hellions just YOLOing right on in here. I don't know if that was a right choice. You might get some drones. By that I mean 5. Okay, 7. 9! 9? 10 drones! 10 drones! Reynor's taking up 5th base. Yeah, 10 drones for that number of Hellions. That's probably good. When it was around 7, I didn't feel good about it, but now I do. Hive on the way from Reynor. Again, just really macroing well here. He's maxed out at 11 minutes. Innovation sitting at 162 supply, but he's pretty terrifying with his +1 tanks, with his +1 armor on his tanks. So they're 1-1. I suppose it'd be a more accurate way of portraying it. Battlecruisers coming their way into the main base again. We had some success here earlier, they say. Let's bring 3 of our buddies over. See if they can all Yamato down this spore, and we'll get to work on everything else that's here. And it's not a bad idea, honestly. Neuroparasite's coming in from Reynor. And doesn't even Yamato down the spore. He doesn't need to. He has enough damage output here. He's going to Yamato down the Corruptors and then get out. The Corruptor count is too high. We're going to kill as many of those as we can and then flee. Infestors show up. I'm not sure what they're going to do. They don't have Neuroparasite yet. I guess they have Microbial Shroud, though, don't they? They do have Microbial Shroud. So, again, if you haven't heard what that is, if you haven't seen it before, I haven't actually seen it on the channel yet. Oh, is this going to be on Patreon, though? This might be on Patreon. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But in case this is actually, like, December instead of January, haven't seen a game with Microbial Shroud yet as these roaches get chased away. It basically makes a certain area of the ground for Zerg take 50% damage from air targets. In a nutshell. Dark Swarm in Brood War does 100% damage from ranged units, including air and ground, to everything inside the swarm. And it was just a lot better. It was a bigger area, too. I don't know. I'm not sure about Banelings versus all these tanks, though. Not sure about anything versus all these tanks, though, to be honest with you. Decent Neurals. Okay, we got some Neuroparasites. The Corruptor's getting rocked by some Thors. Some splash damage is really bad. And the Neural on the tanks actually turns the tide here, so the ground army's in a ton of trouble. But then it wears off, and that Infestor is gone. Going, gone. Battlecruisers tacking on up here. Have any Battlecruisers died yet in this game? The answer is no. So Reynor, 13,000 resources lost, 9,000 for innovation. He's really being cost efficient here. But Ling Baneling against this few tanks and a Thor going to be pretty good. Thor down, tank down, tank down. Yamato Cannon on the Corruptors. Pretty good. Transfuses on the Corruptors. Also very good, though. Ground Army. Nope. Baneling's finishing off the rest of that. Hellions are retreating for their lives. Battlecruiser trying to stand on in. Has to jump out. Again, is vulnerable for about a second when they engage that tactical jump. Which means if you have... if you're attacking them, you have about 1 more second to kill them before they get out of there. Creep Tumor does go down. Can't cancel it in this current patch. This is problematic, and Innovation continuing to move on in here. Although Ravagers, by the skin of their teeth... Oh, double! Corrosive Bile, triple there on those tanks. That was massive. The Thor goes down. I'm not sure that Reynor would have had trouble holding that anyway, but those 2 tanks that were right close together and the Corrosive Bile right in the center... So good. Thor trying to march his way down, get out of here, but not really working out that well for him. He's down, but his tank buddies have his back, at least the one that did not just get filed down right now. Turrets are up to dissuade Corruptors from throwing down caustic spray on his buildings. Oh, that battle cruiser, repair it. Can't repair through that. The damage by Corruptors is so good. Hellions running on into the 5th base of Reynor, roasting up a bunch of the drones. 8 drones down, 9 drones down, 10 drones down. And that's what I'm talking about. This is what you need to be doing if you are Innovation. It's 91 to 78 workers, which is a decent lead. Gotta say, Army Supply went away to 90. They're both approximately even here. This is a really good game. This is a fantastic game. This may very well even get an epic tag just for how darn close it's been here. Reynor had a lead, but Innovation has had some nice battles. Really nice battles here and there. More Infestors coming in. Got a greater Spire on the way, which honestly not great against Battle Cruisers, Broodlords, unless the Battle Cruisers are all neuroparasited. In which case the Broodlords are fine. Zerglings say, hey, remember when you were going to take a 5th base along the left side? No. Remember we're going to take a 5th base along the right side? Also no. And by 5th I mean 6th. This would be a 6th base. He just double canceled Innovation's expansions. That's disgusting. Alright, well 7 Broodlords in production. Curse of Vials taking down... Is that a tank? Something died over there. So tank count high. Tactical jump out of there. Where the heck? Was he too injured? Where did he jump? Oh, over here to take out that base. Fine, fair enough. But the problem is now nothing is here to do with these Broodlords, and Reynor got these out in the darn nick of time. They couldn't save this 5th. Battlecruiser are going to take down the 6th if given enough time to do it, and he does have the +2 armor anyway. He doesn't have any attack upgrades for some reason. Roach is just kind of wandering on into the 3rd, though. Getting 9 SCV kills and then running away. Meanwhile, Roach Ravager on this planetary fortress. No, Innovation's not repairing it. Oh, he thought about repairing it and then thought better. He has just lost about 4 bases in approximately 2 minutes. Innovation falling apart a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen. The Roach is coming on up. Actually getting a tank with his Roaches because the rest of the rest of the tanks left. The rest of them left. Bases are falling left and right here. SCVs 14 down. I mean, it was even. It was even there for a second, and then the Broodlords came up. Wiped out a large section of Innovation's army. He still has 111 army supply, though. Let's not try to pretend like there's nothing left for Innovation. He's got Thors, which their new range does outrange Broodlords. And the leash range on Broodlords was affected too, so they can't stay away from the Thors as easily as they used to be able to, and still fire. Vikings gonna try to wipe out these Broodlords. Neuroparasite on the Thors! What is happening right now? Neuroparasited Thors, taking down other Thors, taking down Vikings, and then they die at the end of their usefulness. Innovation does set up a nice tank spot right here in between Reynor's natural base and his 3rd. And, well, he's going to get that hatchery. Hatchery down. Planetary Fortress is saved because of the repair down south here for Innovation this time. And additional Thors do chase this army away. So a hatch down. That's a big deal for Innovation. He needs to slow down Reynor. He managed to retake his 6th. That's totally running at this point. And trying to maybe go after a 6th base or 7th base on the left side. He's sending Thors over to handle that as well. So Reynor needs more Lings to handle these Thors. Trying to replace the Planetary Fortress 5th that he had. But Lings attempting to shut that down quite nicely. They don't have the upgrades they need, though. +2 attack is good. And they do have Adrenal Glands, so I guess they're almost as good as they could be. Maybe it would have been enough. I don't know. Hellbat's out versus this Roach Ravager thing, though, as is tradition. Caustic spraying down the 6th. You can't repair through that. And considering the Thors are the anti-air, they're too slow to respond. Planetary Fortress out. Thors, or tanks rather, up north. 11 kills and 7 kills on these dudes. They do have +3 attack, which is pretty nice. But when it comes to a giant Zerg army, everybody's dead. Blue Flame Hellions getting on into the 4th base right now. This is chaos. That's 18 drones down. Both players have taken severe hits to their economies here. 55 drones killed and 37 SCVs killed. It's 52 workers for Reynor and 78 workers for Innovation. Wow. What a match this has been. Army supply, 124 to 88. At the end of the day, though, I think Innovation losing his 6th hurts more than Reynor losing his 3rd. Just for potential income. You know what I mean? He lost his 6th again. Broodlords, good unit. Good unit, Broodlords. The Caustic Spray on the 5th. 7th is up and running for Innovation. He is expanding everywhere, but he keeps losing bases. 1 orbital, 1 planetary fortress, and 3 command centers have died to Reynor thus far. Taking a 7th base is Reynor. Maybe it's an 8th. I don't even know. He's pretty well kept Innovation on his back foot for the last 5 or 6 minutes or so. And here we go. We've got Mass Thor here with some Liberator support, some Hellbats in the mix as well. Reynor does not like the position at all. It's a little too choky for him, I think. He wants to pull back to a bit of a more open area. Maybe force Innovation to attack up a ramp. This indicates Looks like that's what he's going for here. But what a scrappy battle. All right, Neuroparasite going down on some of these Thors. Corrosive Bile and the Liberators, they're not a factor anymore. More Neuroparasite on additional Thors here. Wiping out, oh my gosh, the Broodlings on the Thors, and then all the Thors going down. Trying to get some shots off on these Broodlords to kill them, but not fast enough, not enough damage done. 124 to 45 army supply. That was a shellacking of a battle. A killer shellacking of a battle. Oh, man, I think that might be it. Like, we're looking at this. Innovation, he had a decent army. And that last time he lost a battle, he was able to get one back up pretty quick. But roaches are just killing mules now. Don't mind us, just killing your workers at your new 6th base, which you haven't been able to have all day, and you're really upset about, probably. Yeah, 142 to 70 army supply. You're not beating Reynor when this is the discrepancy. Caustic Spray and Corrosive Biles. Planetary Fortress down, 4th base out. 6th base Ghost Town, but mining actually. The roaches do get cleaned up by a Liberator, but 26 SCVs just got killed. We're at 59 workers. Reynor has never replaced his 3rd, but he's got additional hatcheries that he's replacing here anyway. So we're good, I think. I think Reynor's okay. I mean, Neural on the Liberators to set up Defender mode circles. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the Thors and the tanks. And the tanks and the Thors, and Reynor is your winner in 21 minutes and 21 seconds. Does that deserve an epic tag? Like, wow. That's incredible. What a ridiculous game that was. Wow. Reynor gets the win. With Neural Parasite, really. It was all Neural Parasite here. We're looking at 18 Thors down, mostly thanks to Neural Parasite. 38 tanks down, mostly due to Neural Parasite and, you know, Ravagers and stuff like that. Blue Lords especially. But yeah, 2 hatcheries killed. Okay, that hurts if you're Reynor, but 2 planetaries, an orbital command, and 3 command centers killed, including a couple under construction. Like, Reynor was going after Innovation's income like there was no tomorrow. Like there was no tomorrow. Woo-wee! That was amazing. That was some amazing stuff. Wow. So yeah, end of the day, Neural Parasite on the Thors. I mean, was tossing down, obviously, the Broodlings too, using Corruptors sparingly. It feels like he didn't go Mass Corruptor or anything. And then Roach Ravager, Baneling when it necessitated it, and just wiping out so many bases over and over again. Innovation replaced them effectively, but it wasn't enough. In the end there, the big engagements, Reynor managed to win most of them, and that's what mattered today. So good job by him. Just really good job by him. Wow. I mean, I don't know what we're looking at here. So what a game. Is that getting an epic tag? I think that's going to get an epic tag. I really do. All right. Well, that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and an epic ZVT between 2 giants. Woo, you can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.